Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. Bookmark Amove TV for other great video games and esports podcasts. Into the Nexus is sponsored by listeners like you via patreon.com/ITN. Welcome back, everyone. No, we didn't just do one of these. Well, we did. But we're doing it again because it's time for the Patron Hangout. I'm Garrett Weinzerl. He's Kyle Ferguson, and this is Into the Nexus, specifically the Patron Hangout. This is where patrons who are supporting us over at patreon.com/ITN can call in and talk to us, usually about Heroes of the Storm, but it's not strictly required that you call in and talk to us about Heroes of the Storm. So it may get off topic. It may get, weird, but the one thing it will always be is fun. So hang out, stick around, and let everyone and their widely varying degrees of quality of microphones soothe you on this Friday afternoon.
Over you.
Yes, just let it wash over you. Hey, Kyle, we had a lot of technical difficulties getting this to work.
Hey, we did, but we made it. Don't peel back that curtain because it's all the magic of theater.
Indeed. Well, as always, if you're watching live in the chat room right now, the way you can call in is A, you have to be a patron, and B, you have to add the Into the Nexus Skype account as a contact on Skype, and you can call in whenever. Skype willing, it will not cause any issues. We can just add you in. It's fine. We'll grab the next person, whenever the current caller leaves. So if you're watching live, feel free to start calling in. We'll grab the first caller that we see, and we'll go from there. And I'm already letting Noah caller that he's good to call in. And, I'm just going to add him because he helped us test this. Oh, and now he's busy. How dare you? How dare you, guy dressed up like Santa? Fine.
Calling from work. How dare he get busy?
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. His phone. Okay. Sorry, Robert, but something about your version of Skype on your phone is just screwing everything up. So instead, we're going to grab Cheesy Bob.
Hi, how's it going?
Our fellow slice of cheddar. It's going well, man. How you doing?
It's a slice of Swiss, not cheddar.
Sorry. You're right. There's holes in it.
Wait, but it's yellow. Wait, so what the heck is
Swiss
on
can be yellow.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it had to be white. Well, so why? Okay, so there can be Swiss yellow, and that's what they're wearing on their heads in sports.
Yes.
Just at Packers games. Not
right.
This isn't Kyle, I'm sad to inform you, not all sports fans wear cheese on their heads, just Packers fans.
Cheese, wolves, I mean, whatever.
All right, fair enough. Well, Cheesy Bob, what's up, man? What's on your hero's mind?
Not much. I wanted to talk about some fun with MMR that I've been having.
Oh.
Okay. So my wife, as you know, almost a year ago now, decided to actually try out the game, and in the past few months, she's decided the elite AIs are too easy now.
Ooh.
And so we've graduated to a few games of quick match.
Ooh.
But I made the mistake a couple weeks ago of playing on my main account with her in quick match, and so she came in to my main account quick match MMR rank, and it was a bad experience.
Oh,
to
no.
say the least.
Now, as in, it jumped it up too far, or
it was
population?
basically it was, she was playing Tyrande, and basically had very, very low all numbers because she was focusing on trying to not die.
Sure.
Which is, good, but it's and it was like I was kind of perplexed as to, and it was really annoying because the team we were on, we had a guy on our team who was a Raynor that I looked him up on Hotslogs after. It was his fourth ever quick match game ever.
Okay.
And so we had a Raynor and a Chen who both died 9 times each. And a Gazlo who was just doing Gazlo things. And then one time, like toward the end of the game, he landed this great like gravity bomb stun explosion thing, but like most of us were dead and he was running away, and he like landed the gravity bomb, stopped, turned around, and went back into their team of 4.
Sweet.
Okay.
And then he started blaming my wife for the reason we were losing.
Well, hey man, that honestly sounds like a Muradin that Kyle and I had in our placement games together last week. So it's all right. It doesn't matter if whether it's their 4th game or their 4,000th game. You know, some people just want to turn around when they're almost dead and engage an entire enemy team.
There's also some people who just want to fight. Like I was playing a quick match last night. We had a Rainer, neutral skin, neutral horse, picks all the penetrating round talons. So already we're all kind of like, all right, he matched the pictures. It was a little bit of amateur hour, whatever. But the Zarya, who self-admitted this was their very first game, said, oh, Rainer, I'm a tank. How am I out DPSing you? And you're just like, oh, wait, hang on, dude.
Zarya's out DPSing Rainer because she got her damage doubled.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a post on Reddit today about someone who actually did the math where basically when you add in the buff that she got from like just the straight up numbers buff and then the energy charge reduction, it basically effectively is a doubling of her DPS.
Yeah, and tanks are always going to have really high damage in quick match where there's no supports because they can actually go in for long periods of time, and Zarya can take care of herself for a short amount of time while she goes in and does a lot of damage.
But the funny thing was, so after that game, I realized that the error that I made was playing with her on my main account and not on my Smurf that I had created to play just with her so that like the MMR would match up. So then the next day, we played a game on my Smurf with her, and it was a complete opposite steamroll. And it was, I played at Jaina and got MVP and got the epic rating, or the legendary rating. I got 8 votes, because basically what would happen is pretty much every Frost Nova I caught like 3 people and killed 4.
Did you feel like you were dancing on them a little bit outside your MMR?
I felt a little bad. Where it was, because I mean, this was, the MMR of that account is like, like low gold, basically, if you go by HOTS logs. And it was that account's like, 17th ever quick match game, and I picked Jaina and just went in and, did Jaina things against a team that doesn't like. Because, Jaina is, like, kind of hard to, like, do stuff on because she has such short range, but when they, like, just don't even focus you, they're just, like, not attacking you, and I'm like, okay, sure. I'll walk in and Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Bolt, and just destroy everything, and it's a lot of fun, but...
I have to do all these careful positional things in my normal MMR. Now I just walk up to them, Cone of Cold, and basically continue the combo from there.
Pretty much. Like, there was, like, one death that I had where I think it was a Dahaka, where, I walked, like, right up into the face of Dahaka, and then he finally actually hit a tongue on me, and I died. So,
other than completely kicking butt, was there a change in plans, or are you gonna, like, put the account on silence?
The change in plans is that I'm... Well, so first, the first change of plans was I had her disable her chat.
Sure.
And I just tell her if there's anything interesting happening in the chat that she needs to know about. Because, I've lived on the internet most of my life, and she has not done much online gaming before. And so, people don't tend to get very salty in AI games because you're just, womping the AI.
Sure.
But when you start losing and you look at the numbers and the person with the lowest numbers, that's who you start bitching at, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, and the reason her numbers were low is because she was trying to not die, and the enemy team would, they were roaming as like 4. We ended up against a 4 stack, and they were just roaming as 4, killing our team one by one. And the real problem was the Chen and the Rainer on our team, who were just oblivious and never with the team, and would just like go and start pushing the lane and push the lane up to the towers and then die, and then push the lane up to the towers and then die. But the person who was complaining, it's interesting how people don't look at deaths that often. They just look at like the numbers.
Sure. Well, it's how much did you get done in your brief life? and that's what matters to him. But you're right that there's no simple solution to it. I think turning off the chat was the best you could have done. And now it's your job not to transfer that information, which I know is the hardest part for me because, you know, we'll get done with a game, a quick match, me and Kristen, and then I'll be like, oh, man, that's so-and-so. He was just going the whole time. And she had it all off. And now I've let her in on the stress that was there in the first place.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say something like, oh, the Sylvanas is bitching, or, I mean, I make sure to say whenever someone says a good thing, right? Like, so whenever someone's like, oh, good job on the kill, I'm like, I make sure to convey that because that's the best thing ever. And so I think that the biggest thing I think is that MMR differences when you group with people are a thing.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
God,
they
yes.
are.
Absolutely.
And it is very interesting to see someone who's, like in some cases. So it's really, I find it very interesting that your duo queue placement Hero League games you had so many issues with, because I assumed that, Kyle with his very high MMR coming into sort of gold MMR would be able to do some pretty impressive things based on especially my experience of, coming from like platinum, diamond, quick match MMR down to like silver, gold, and like picking this Jaina and just destroying, right?
Yeah, I think a lot that was to do with the fact that I was using a donated account, which meant the game and the MMR was extremely established. So we weren't getting in that 300 game zone. Everything was in the thousands, which Blizzard does account for in some way.
Right, but I mean the idea of that, if that account was a low MMR, you should have been matched with an even MMR on your team, and the MMR should have been higher, so ideally what it thought was an even match should have been in your favor.
And I think it was.
Yeah,
I think at the end it was.
If we go back and we look at all of our losses, I mean, I think we could point to a lot of things, and I especially think, and this isn't me jumping on Kyle, which is what's going to sound like, but the Butcher and Kerrigan games, I think, are two big examples, because you were playing heroes that just do not do well from behind, and we fell behind pretty early, and it just stayed that way.
Right, well, and that was also my own fault, and just peel and heals and all the things I expect in my division when I'm playing Kerrigan or Butcher.
Yeah, Kyle Ferguson's original peel and heal.
Exactly.
Apply twice daily.
So maybe Kyle's MMR was just so high, and he's so used to playing with people of a similar MMR that then he doesn't know how to destroy in low MMR games, even though he probably could if he was able to adjust his mindset properly.
Well, this is part of what we talked about at the end, which was we were drafting too much for the team and we weren't selfish drafting enough, which at that level, especially if you are of higher skill, I think you just need to do. You just need to pick a hero that no matter what else happens, you can have some kind of effect. If you play a Butcher, if you play a Kerrigan, they depend a little too much on everyone else.
Well, and this game is very well designed for a team game. Dota, I can Night Stalker, get 4 levels ahead, and just do whatever the heck I want. No matter how far ahead I get in heroes, I always have to have whatever that X factor is made up for me. So with Lunara, I need that Ariel. I need someone to empower me. Vala needs the same thing. I think Kerrigan needs, every single assassin needs someone with them to make up for their faults, which is a great game design thing, but also meant when I'm relying on other people to fill in those faults, like the tank or the healer, it wasn't happening.
Right. But think about, I think towards the end, there was a game where you just jumped on Raynor, and it was like, oh, this just went super smooth.
Right, and that was interesting. I feel like that advantage was because my understanding of the character. The Falstad tried to 1v1 me, the Jaina tried to 1v1 me, and I know exactly what give me more heal is going to get me.
Right, exactly.
So in that way, that experience is what pushed me over the edge and stopped me from really going off after all these meta picks like I was through my Masters climb last season. It made me really focus in on what I'm truly good at and what I have the nuance abilities in, because that's what's going to eke out a win. Not power, not execution even, just an understanding of exactly what you can survive and what you can get done. And that is why yesterday I was so animate that I get frustrated in support OP metas, because all that information goes out the window for a time period.
Yeah, it is kind of, part of me wants to like jump in and do my placements this weekend because of the wacky meta, but another part of me is like, I think that the rapid pace of change in the game is making it hard for me to want to jump in, because like I really like it like once it's like sort of established and understood. But now it's just like this wacky, like, who knows? Does the first team that gets Malfurion win, or does everyone just ban Malfurion and Zarya, and then what? Do you pick? I don't know. What do you pick, right?
And what are the chances that someone has that information? I mean, guy in my quick match game last night, LOL, you're not even beating the tank, man. Like, that guy shows that there is a big, wide difference in the information base the player pit has. So I'm going to have a lot of fun streaming with Gorath tomorrow. We're both very jovial guys, really enjoy, the thought experiment of drafting. But I'm not going to play by myself right now. That just doesn't sound like fun. It's nothing against the game. Dead game, blah, blah. I'm not going to post about it because I know it'll get fixed in time. I still love quick match. But I don't want to draft an environment where there's the chance that someone doesn't ban one of the 2 OP heroes and we just end up having a wash.
Right, and I think also if you're duo queuing, I think now is a particularly bad time to duo queue, because if you're solo, you have the chance of getting first pick, and you can actually pick Malfurion or Zarya, and like basically tell your team, yeah, don't ban one of those two, and I'll take whichever one they don't ban.
But now I can't get that first pick, so it's all for fun.
Yeah, if you're doing and you don't get the ban, it's kind of scary.
But I understand. We kind of talked in a big circle here, but I'm 100% with you, Cheesy Bob. I can put away a lot. I don't get targeted often. When I do, it's very upsetting, but I can put it away pretty quick because of my experience online. But man, when I have new players in here, be my wife or a friend or anyone, I get just so defensive for them. And I just want to reach across the internet and be like, I'm trying to make them love this. Let me have my moment. Let this game be good to them.
Yeah, I think the key is, so my wife and I, we play in the same room, and that helps, so I can just like tell her things and she can have her chat off, and I can, like I said, I can convey the important information and leave out the salt, which is something that, I sort of do naturally in my head, is like when I see someone be salty, I'm like, okay, they're just angry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're having a bad day.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Cheesy Bob, man, thanks for calling in, and sorry random people are jerks.
Good luck out there.
It happens, but...
Sorry the internet is continuing on as originally conceived.
Well, like I said, I'm used to it, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good weekend.
You too, bye-bye.
All right, Master DS has been calling.
Hey.
He's next. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm outside already.
You're outside already? We don't have to listen to a stairwell? Oh,
nice
man.
job. So how about that complete misdraft we did last night?
Ooh, yeah.
It was very informative, but, a passive damage that you can't really control, dots like Lunara and Gazlo turrets, those empower Zarya and kick your butt.
It happens. I just plan on just taking Zarya, as much as possible this weekend. I think I'm actually going to start my Hero League this week because I know, I can do a Zarya, and Zarya is really good. And I feel like that's when I do best at Hero League, when there's a new hero that's really strong, and I can play a new hero. That's what I like to do. I like to play new heroes. And that's my problem. That's been a problem the last few seasons, or the last season, because the new heroes have not been strong. But now Zarya's really good, and that's going to help me a lot. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I went on a 4-game winning streak with her last night.
Oh, nice.
All in unranked.
It's always funny to hear how it's different for different players. In 1v1 games, it's a lot more apparent, but Hearthstone, StarCraft, you have these pro players who don't really win outside of change times. But every time there's an update to the game, every time there's a big old patch, these guys just wreck for a short amount of time.
And also, it's worth noting, before the update, I had gone 50-50 with Zarya, though the games of Zarya that I won felt like I shouldn't have before the patch, before the hotfix. Anyway, the question I was going to ask is, I wanted to talk about the arena and the upcoming content for that. They haven't talked a lot about it, and I'm just wondering, what do you guys think it could be? In my wildest imaginations, you could imagine, single, you could imagine, one, if it's like Hearthstone and Overwatch, it's something new every week, right? Well, you could imagine, boss fights, big, in a raid or whatever, and WoW, you could imagine, an arena map could be like Lee Shang Tower in Overwatch, where it's 3 maps actually, but you have to do a best 2 out of 3, just like in Overwatch. You could mix up what the win condition is. It could be like, you have to, like in Overwatch, it could be like control a point until you get to 100% and then you win. And that could be pretty cool.
I know that the StarCraft engine can import WoW models. I just want things like Anexia's Lair for a week, and you have to play as someone has to pick Jaina, someone has to pick, like Alliance versus whatever. Bring the themes on. All Diablo teams versus something else. Like, I feel like if it's just going to be that battle arena, that 5v5, 3v3, whatever it's become, there's just going to be too many weird outliers, like the old version, no talents at all. You automatically get your level 10, but Kharazim didn't get his level 1 talent and was not a good hero in that area. So I think the nuances of the game they made might be too much for the more Diablo-like arena they might be shooting for previously.
I agree. I hope it's exactly what you're talking about, Master. I hope it's something like that. I hope we get some cool kind of PvE, heavily themed events, because that is what it'll take for me to get excited. Because at the moment, what I think it's going to be is exactly what we saw, which was just kind of this arena with wacky rules. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever play that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Unranked being very good. Unranked feels good. I like Unranked a lot.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you bring that up, because I feel like we haven't really sung the praises of Unranked enough, and definitely not recently. Unranked is fantastic. They've done a fantastic job with it. I'm so glad it's in the game.
Yeah, if it was just Quick Match, then yeah, it's like, okay, well, this goopy mode, better than Quick Match. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, and I still enjoy Quick Match. Kyle's rubbed off on me a bit. You just have to accept what it is, and just again, like, kind of let it wash over you.
Yeah, if you get a bad comp, you play the tower defense game, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And
yeah,
I've still had some wacky games. Dear God, hey, Kyle, if you ever want to do Quick Match replay, I got that bird. If you ever want to do a Quick Match replay analysis, I've got one from the other day where I played Sylvanas, and it started off so poorly. I was certain it was over, and we managed to turn it around.
Those are the best games. I had a few of those, which I did send your way as well.
That replay box is full, but they've been updating the game like every week. I feel so bad. I'm constantly throwing out replays I get sent because, well, it's simply not the old version of the game. Oh, this one has a Chen in it. No point watching that anymore.
That's true.
When you change something even as simple as, and it's rather complex, of course, Muradin no longer has Unstoppable when he leaps. All those little elements throughout a Muradin game suddenly change.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
I definitely could feel it. Like, whenever I'm watching, like, esports or whatever, it's just like, if it's the old version, I kind of lose interest.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not playing that version anymore. This means nothing to me.
Why doesn't this game have 2 Zaryas? This isn't Quick Match.
One, yeah. Only one, though.
I love the idea of Anexia's Lair, Kyle. So, Kyle, would it just be 5-player or 10-player co-op, or would it be like 5v5 where you're both kind of fighting Anexia, but you have a way to mess with the other team?
I think it could just be like 5 versus just Anexia.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think you need an enemy team in all cases.
Well, and I want these updated regularly, so I don't want it to be overly complex that it has to become a thing for 3 weeks, and then you don't like this particular one and it's stuck there for 3 weeks.
Do you think it could be like in Hearthstone where there's a reward for your first game or your first win any given week? Or what would that even be?
I don't know. Right? It'd just be gold would be my guess. And
we
that's
all
not
got
exactly
enough gold.
Yeah, and maybe they give you one of the original set heroes or the 4,000 gold kind of thing.
It can't be a hero as well because they're not, if it's every week, they can't add heroes faster than they add brawls.
Right, your only choice would be to have the original, 15, and then you just give money if you don't have those original 15. So at least it would help new players. I mean, what I want is more things to bring people in. I want that Onexia week, so WoW players go, okay, I'll check that out. I can play Jaina fighting Onexia. That's kind of neat. And then you have Protoss versus Hybrid week. and the Protoss players come over, that sort of thing. You just got to get them in the game to try it out and see that it's not so scary.
Do you think how many maps do you think they would have to make for this? Like you know what I was saying earlier about Lijian Tower, for instance, or like the WoW place, or something like what's a place in StarCraft?
I don't know.
There are many.
Lost Temple.
There are many. Sure.
Why not Lost Temple? I mean, if it's a new thing every week, I mean, they don't honestly need that many at first. They can run a repeat in there while they're developing the next one. They can have a couple. They can have the boring arena on off weeks. It's not even in the game already, and I already don't care about it. But I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to have a ton of things prepared. Obviously, they need a few, so it's in the chamber, so they can start rolling them out week after week. But I think if they get the arena up and running so that it can be their filler in between, I would love to see more creative events on off weeks.
Yeah.
And some of those can become their own things, right? Like there's that the Hearthstone Brawl where you get 2 cards. That thing has become its own genre.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure people would play that competitively if they could.
And they put the sequel out 2 weeks ago where you could have 3 cards.
So what would that be in Heroes? 2 classes? You have to choose all your heroes from 2 classes or 1 class?
There's some cool stuff you could do, and then that'd be an opportunity for people to experiment with new heroes, try out things in a battle environment that they don't normally get to execute. Of course, you might randomly end up on Murky on a map where there is nowhere to hide your egg, and that goes awful.
What would be the strongest if you had to make a team out of if you had to make a 5-person team out of 2 heroes? What would be the strongest 2 heroes?
Oh, but there's 5 people. You can have multiples.
Yeah, you could have 4 of one and 1 of the other, or any combination.
I think Li Ming and someone else, because the resets would be stupid.
Could I do double Cho'Gall?
But then what happens with the extra player?
He's one more Cho.
And the Gall's just dead? Like the head is just,
it's not
laying to the
much.
side?
Computer controlled. I guess that's a little OP then.
No, I want a custom animation, dude. I want the other head to be like hanging lifeless and the left arm just kind of flopping around.
Can you have 1 Cho and 4 Galls all on the same body?
Oh my goodness, that'd be awesome. That'd be a great arena right there.
Oh my god, that'd be Twitch plays Pokemon levels of what are you doing?
5v5, 1 Cho with 4 Galls versus a normal team. Actually,
Soak.
Tassadar Murky. Let's get 3 Murkies, 2 Tassadars.
Oof.
Sign me up. Absolutely sign me up. All right. Well, Master, I certainly hope that what you would like for Arena is what we end up getting.
I think we'll see it at BlizzCon.
Yep,
I hope so. We haven't seen it since last BlizzCon.
Yeah.
It's scheduled for then. It's not late yet.
Yep. Well, sweet, man. Have a good weekend.
Okay, bye.
So we were never able to get Robert in, sadly. There's some type of Skype hiccup, but he did send over a message for him that he really just wanted to talk about the strategy of climbing out of silver, and to thank you, Kyle, for your YouTube videos because he watches them every day on his lunch break. And then and then he wanted to give me crap for the Super Salt cast with you.
The last game of that particular run of placements, I didn't even label what the heroes were. It just said, warning, Super Salt Garrett. I think it got the most clicks, too, so maybe I need to buzzword my YouTube a little bit more.
It's,
it brings out the crowds, man.
Some people like the Salt Garrett, and that knowledge is the reason that particular game was as salty as it was. It was like the combination of the fact that you informed me the night before that my salt wasn't as bad as I thought because some people in the chat were really digging on it, combined with I was literally watching the worst Zagara play I've ever seen.
It was kind of fun in a way, like because the YouTube audience isn't a full crossover with the podcast. So I got some guys being like, "Why is your friend so pissed?" Like, this is par for the course, man.
Are you watching the Zagara? Are you watching it?
That you just have to ignore. It's simply not good information, right? We were playing that game yesterday, and there was the Vala who's driving you nuts. You used to play a lot of Vala. and her positioning was bad, she's simply not worth the effort.
Honestly, that wasn't what was driving me nuts about that Vala. It was the fact that the Vala was just like, LOL, there's nothing we could have done. And it's like, you could have banned Malfurion and stood anywhere else.
That's right. They were in control of the bans, and they wouldn't listen to us. Malfurion.
Yeah, we both politely, because this is the thing that I want everyone to understand. I don't go in like, listen to me, jackasses, this is what we're doing. I go in, Kyle. I come out the other end as Sauron, though. That's the problem. I go in giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, and they just let me down every time. So we both got in, killing them with kindness, saying, hey, guys, Malfurion's pretty broken right now, so unless you're going to first pick him, you should ban him. And the player goes, nah, I'm just going to ban Kerrigan. No, you really should. Okay, ban Kerrigan. Hey, second ban, Malfurion still hasn't been picked. Nah, I'm going to ban ETC.
First pick Morales. You know, the more I experiment in other leagues and, in fact, just play my own too, I really just want people to pick in whatever order they want. Yeah. I think this meta of having to be able to play as Zagara because you're first or because there's the chance to be first is just a little tiresome, maybe, when the meta moves so fast, certainly, because we have to constantly change characters and we lose some of our favorites in the background. But you just don't get to develop a personality as much. I really like Legion. And one of my favorite things about it is I am a discipline priest for this thing. If you ask me to do something else, I go, I'm just not as powerful there.
I literally can't. I have thrown all my artifact power into this artifact. Deal.
I mean, I know it's just 10% here, 2% there, whatever, but it adds up.
Mm-hmm. No, it absolutely does.
I like that, and I'm very much defined by the characters I pick. I love my monsters.
Yeah, man.
But his question.
Yeah, talking about climbing out of silver, how different of wisdom do you think you need to impart? Is it any different from the advice you give to Gold League?
You know, I'm actually going over to my lessons folder here and jumping into some notes I've had for silver guys.
All right.
And the majority of them are pretty positional problems. A lot of what they're doing is really good. It's just having to do that next level of hard work, making sure the position was good before the fight, making sure you're on time to objectives. Really, when it comes to getting from silver into gold, smarter, not harder, as lame as that is of a thing, it's 100% true. And the harder part is really crazy important. Stutter stepping is not going to win you a game, but that's harder stuff you can do now and get good at for later. And I've got multiple videos up now on my YouTube about how to stutter step if you're curious how to do that. Just moving while attacking and making sure you're in a good position. But more importantly, like that, having awareness. And it takes more thought. And simply, if you don't want to put that much effort into a video game, it's okay to say I'm forever bronze or silver because you're not willing to make that investment. I don't care about Hearthstone meta. So I will forever be in my 16s, and I love it. It's a casual game to me. I could put forth the effort and get better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, because I have other games that do that for, like Heroes. So when I'm talking about this sort of thing, I'm talking about learning your timings and knowing exactly at that 2-minute mark what's going to happen. If you need to start hearthing back, you shouldn't pick a fight before an objective. Infernal Shrine's probably the biggest one of this. I mean, Curse Hall, of course, suffers, but Infernal Shrines. The shrines are... And he starts going, hearth back. Right then, you should have known 10 seconds before it. Should have had a feeling in your gut that there was going to be an objective. You don't pick a fight then. You go top off. You report to the objective pit, fully healed up, ready to go with full mana. That sort of simple thing takes extra effort and thought, but it's what ekes out that next level play.
Well said, Kyle, and thank you for pulling up your notes for that.
Yeah. I don't know. At some point, I just need to go through these and condense them because there's a lot of themes throughout the many, many notes and lessons I've given across different leagues. Find some way to condense it.
Yeah, make a little book.
Yeah, something like that.
But digital, so you can quickly update
it. Right.
Anyway, Brock Ali is here. How you doing, Brock?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Hey, congratulations on your Master Skin Lunara.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Dude, you are like gamered out right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
in full nerd mode right now.
Nice, man. Anyway, what's your question, dude?
Well, I thought this time I would actually ask a Heroes of the Storm related question.
All right, that's
Change
allowed.
things up.
That's allowed as long as you follow it up with a completely balls ass crazy off subject question.
Oh, I can definitely do that.
All right, cool. Well, what's your Heroes of the Storm question?
I'm wondering if you guys have any thoughts on how the MVP, the whole rating system, can be improved. Because I had a game the other day where it just made me super angry. So we were playing with the worst Gaul I have ever seen. Their damage was less than their Cho and less than our healer by like a few thousand. And yet they get the MVP because they never died. Well, of course they didn't die because their Cho didn't die. Like, they did nothing to not die. And then they get MVP.
So they outdamaged their Cho then.
No, their Cho outdamaged the Gaul, but the Gaul got MVP.
How?
Because they didn't die.
Because the
and they had the
game-
most siege damage somehow.
Oh, because they got like 2 of the things. Like, okay, yeah, they didn't die, and then they got one big event over someone else. They stood on too many mercenary camps.
They got like 1 kill, and like they did nothing else in the game. It was completely insignificant.
All right,
And then they still get it. Like, and that stuff's happened multiple times.
I've got
Or the tank that dies like 14 times gets the Bulwark Award for soaking damage because he was sitting in a group of people dying constantly. Like, what the heck? It's stupid.
I have a 2-part answer to this. First is not all that helpful and sounds like it shouldn't be coming from someone with my personal disposition and anger problems, but it don't care that much about it because it doesn't really matter. The entire thing is placebo. That's, I think, the first and foremost thing you should be concerned about is that the MVP thing is just a fun little addition, and as soon as they add the leave button, it'll be a lot easier to just move on with your life.
Yes.
But the serious response is that, yeah, it puts far too much weight on no deaths or low amounts of deaths, and it puts way too much weight on your role, whatever your role is. Because on the flip side of that, it's like, yeah, you had most damage done, but you died about 4 more times than you should have and gave the game away. And the same thing for tanks. Like, yeah, cool, Bulwark. You did what your class is supposed to do, but did you actually do it right? And at the end of the day, you have to cut Team 1 some slack. It's an exceptionally difficult thing to program for. I mean, how do you write an algorithm that knows that the tank was engaging when he should have engaged and retreating when he should have retreated, and that the damage absorbed was damage that should have been absorbed and not damage that he should have been nowhere near in the first place? How do you really develop a system that can identify that?
Right. I had an Artanis who got MVP the other day, and it was because the enemy team messed up, and they kept attacking Artanis past 16. The Artanis, though, didn't perform at a higher level, but for the most part, I see supports winning it. 0 death supports seem to always take the MVP.
Yeah, and really look to Overwatch and go back through old Overwatch patches and see the incremental steps they've taken to make their MVP system, their play of the game system better. I mean, they just 2 or 3 weeks ago changed it one more time so that we would be seeing less Mercy mass resurrects. And that's been something they've been working on for a while. And on the flip side of that, there was the issue when they first launched the beta that supports were almost never getting play of the game. You were lucky if Mercy, you got one with a mass resurrect, but pretty much no other support ever made it onto play of the game. And that's something that they've been tweaking since day one. And I don't know, there's finesse to that system. Clearly they were inspired, but clearly they're also running into the same issues.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know. I think it's fine, and I don't know. I as much as I think it was a bit of a joke response of saying just don't let it get to you because it doesn't really matter. I'm also quite serious. I mean, it really is just supposed to be a feel good thing.
And the play of the game system, I think, is an extra treat because you get to see someone else's view. We don't get to see a replay, but it would be wasted space. Here's the game as you saw it earlier while you were dead. Jumping into someone else's view was extremely helpful for me when I was trying to get better at Overwatch.
But
Oh, that's the snipe location. That's where we all died from.
yeah, exactly. But in Heroes, it's isometric. You already saw it. So,
If you're dead, you extra saw it.
yep. Yep.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I worry about is that, that person takes away from that game. Oh, I did awesome. Except really they didn't.
Oh, believe
They
me.
didn't perform their role correctly at all, but they got the MVP, so now they think, oh, I'm doing this correctly. I'm doing good.
Oh, even without the MVP system, I've been there.
That's Kyle. That's your mantra. That's the reason you don't unload salt. As chat room said earlier, Kyle's version of salt is just sighing. Just like
Getting
that's
a little quiet.
That's as salty as you get because your whole mantra is this is helping nothing. This is doing nothing. This the whole reason you say don't type to people because they're not going to learn anything.
I would say the majority of my reports come with wins. When I report someone, it's usually with the text that says, if we had lost this guy would have been awful.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so my favorite, because you know how I am, Kyle. My salt it's just audible. I just say it. It's just something I do while playing. I don't actually go in and type it. I don't go after people unless they come after me every now and then, as you've seen. I don't start being a jerk, but I will finish being a jerk. But yeah, I'm with you, Kyle. I love winning with a jerk because that's the one time this all comes out of me. GG, except Vala. Like that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and you
I
have
can't
to
help
type it at the last second, so they can't respond.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, it started because like a couple games in a row early on in Heroes, there were people who were just like at the end after you won, the guy that was complaining the whole time would still complain after they win, and that's when I was just like, GG, except Murden.
Well, we've all had those guys. They're like, you guys deserve to lose.
Yes. Oh, geez, that's the worst. That's the worst. So, but at the end of the day, just kill people with kindness and don't let the MVP screen get to you. Murder them with kindness. So.
Sounds good.
Well, did you have a follow-up question, Brock?
Yeah, I have one. So I'm wondering what your lightsaber color would be and why. Other than just pure aesthetics, is there a specific reason? Because in the Star Wars lore, typically different colors are assigned to different types of Jedi or Sith. So,
I really like the whole idea in spoilers for Rebels, by the way. I like the idea that Ahsoka in Rebels wields white lightsabers because she refuses to identify herself with the light or the dark side. I don't think they look all that cool, but I like the reasoning behind it. So I might go with white. However, were I in Star Wars, I would want to be a smuggler, so I would just want a red lightsaber, not because I want to be a Sith. I just want people, when they see it, to go, oh shit, red lightsaber, and just leave. Kind of like the sound of a shotgun cocking after you break into someone's home.
nice.
The purple's my favorite color, but going with Star Wars lore, and I don't think he. What was Samuel Jackson's character?
Mace Windu.
Yeah, he didn't have a special reason for the purple. It was just George Lucas asked him
They never-
what color he wanted.
They never really go into that in the movies.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like, for the longest time, it's just good blue, bad red, and then Luke made a green one in Jedi. That was about as far as the movies took it.
In KOTOR, my favorite Jedi class was Sentinel, which had the yellow, orangey kind of lightsaber. And I've always kind of liked the idea of the wizard in the orange robes. It's good, but it's kind of sickly, so you don't really know what he's up to. He's kind of weird alchemical guy.
All right.
Nice.
I get
I
behind
have
that.
a recurring wizard in all of my early D&D campaigns named Marcus Quinn. He always gets his ass completely beat. He's a horrible, horrible wizard, usually trying to summon something awful.
So he gets his ass beat by his own summons?
Right, yeah, he's that guy.
Fantastic.
That guy. And I summon you, you can't summon me, and they smash him.
So Draxus comes out and kicks his butt.
Exactly.
All right.
Same sort of story.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Without the gnome.
What about you, Brock? What's your lightsaber crystal color of choice?
Mine's pretty much the same as yours. I've been doing a lot of delving into lore about the Force, especially with the recent Rebels premiere that had some some new additions in it, and
Yeah,
so
I
I think I would lean more towards the gray/white, just because of the philosophy behind it, trying to find a true balance between the light and the dark side, and not identifying with either one.
I hope that's where they're going in The Force Awakens.
They
Yes.
could.
I really
had
hope that's
so
the
much
direction they're
trouble.
taking. Sorry, what, Kyle?
They've had so much trouble with it in the past. I'm thinking, of course, of KOTOR 2, where if you went gray, you simply didn't get a prestige class. And then in the MMO
that's-
they came out with, if you went gray, you simply didn't get any faction items until they did that update.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. That's a game mechanic. If you're working on a narrative, you don't really need to constrain it in that regard.
Right. But I want my goal in those sort of morale games has always been tough on my enemies, good to my friends. And when the woman on the street is like, "Please, sir, do you have some money for my baby?" I'm like, "Yes." But I need evil points, so I'm like, "No," and I kill your baby. Like
That is, yeah, that is the issue, right? I'm exactly the same way because I like playing Sith in KOTOR or in the MMO. And it was just like, would you like to save this person or murder them, skin their puppy, and eat the bones? And it's just like, no, can I go in between and still be
Right.
a Sith? Like, come on.
Across their hallway on the way out? Like, is there something less evil I can do?
Do I have to take a dump on their living room floor? Jeez. Yeah, no, I mean that's the age-old issue with a morality system, right?
I think Mass Effect handled it pretty well because it really didn't matter.
It got better. I feel like in 1 it was pretty black and white.
Yeah.
But I played Mass Effect pretty much all the way through, pretty nice, except that news reporter. She got jacked in the face every time I saw her.
Sure. And, well, dumb. Who was the senator? He was bad too.
Oh yeah, I punched him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I punched him too. I like punching people, as Kyle can attest from playing D&D with me. I beat the crap out of the mayor character you came up with.
Yeah, well, he was he was Marcus Quinn, man.
Yeah, Kyle created this mayor character of what was basically the shittiest, most rundown town in any Diablo game you've ever played.
Nice.
And I went to town on his face.
It's cathartic.
It was.
Oh yes.
And then I almost died to a dragon.
Classic D&D.
Oh yes. Nice.
Well, Brock, thank you so much for calling in, man, and have a good
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. You too.
See you, dude. Well, Kyle, I believe that brings us to the end.
Oh, fantastic.
It does. It is. It was. It was. There we go. It was fantastic.
And next Thursday, we'll know what the new hero is.
We will, because Samwise is going to draw it.
Yeah, draw it live at 8 a.m., so it'll be plenty out in the world by the time our show comes about.
I love Blizzard art, but I think that's kind of a weird way to reveal something, because after a few lines, everyone's going to be like, that's it, but then he's going to still be there finishing the drawing for like an hour or two.
I wonder if he's going to mystery it up a little bit. You know, like you used to do when you were showing someone how to transform your Transformer, and you'd like move your hands extra and do random crap just to make it look hard?
No, I did not. I'm pretty sure that was just you, Kyle.
You never impressed your friends by how fast you could transform. In the commercials, that was the whole point. And then Optimus.
None of my friends were impressed by my Transformer skills. Let's just put it that way.
You had bad friends. I don't think my friends cared either.
Yeah, no, mine didn't give a crap. Also, all of my friends had more Transformers than I did.
Yeah, I guess my Transformer was rather limited. I had a turtle guy for the longest time. I don't even know what he was from, but
I had a Ninja Turtles toy that looked like a baby turtle, and you could open it up and flip all the limbs around, and then it was like the full-size mutated turtle.
yeah, that guy was great. And then the movie ones that are kind of rubbery.
Yeah, actually, I had those. I thought those were super cool.
Yeah.
'Cause I liked the movie. I still like the movie, man. I'll go back and watch that first and second movie a few times. The third one is crap.
I don't know what that one is, but those movies are best left in my memories.
No, they're still fun to watch, man. Believe me.
I
Trust
don't
me
know,
on this.
man.
Just revel in it. Revel in the early 90s. Revel in two films that just cannot let the 80s go, basically.
They're just so weird. They're for kids, but they've still got that like grunge of the 80s, that sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mars makeup feel.
Yeah, the only thing it's missing is excessive use of blood packets.
Yes.
Like
yes.
it's a Schwarzenegger's 80s movie with no blood or cussing. And guys in rubber turtle suits with really cool animatronic heads.
I'm glad we didn't end up in that future.
80s
80s future.
Oh, 80s future was terrible. Everyone was on meth constantly.
Yeah.
That's basically what it looked like.
I don't think it was invented yet, but probably was actually.
I'm not on the up and up on my drug history.
You haven't been reading your Wikipedia enough?
Nope. Breaking Bad only is interested in meth culture in now current days, so it doesn't go into the history. So, anyways, thanks everyone for calling in. Huge thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN for supporting us. That's the whole reason we're doing these extra episodes each month. And big fat thanks to our Patreon producers, Declan H. and Cheesy Bob. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday, where it looks like we're going to have a new hero to talk about. Right? Oh, actually, I guess, yeah, it'll be in the morning, so we'll know.
Yep.
We will know. But until then, good luck and have fun.
Take care.
Love you, stream.